We continue with Section 4D, loan payments, credit cards, and mortgages. In this video, we'll do problems related to credit cards and mortgages, problems 3, 4, and 5. So problem 3, we have a balance of $5,000 on our credit card, and we want to pay it off. We're assuming that no additional charges will be made, and the credit card rate, look how high it is, 20%. That's how usually they are. We want to pay it off in 2 years. So let's quickly write down what we have to answer part A, which is calculate your monthly payment. So the principal, the amount that we owe, is $5,000. The rate, pretty high, 20%, is 0.20. We want to pay it off by making payments monthly. So we make 12 payments in a year. So that is 12 and equals 12. And we want to pay off the loan in 2 years. So y equals 2 years. So now we need to figure out monthly payments, and this is the formula that we use. Plug in all the numbers and enter the numbers in the calculator carefully, and we get $254.48 to pay off the loan of $5,000. So now we've paid off our loan by making payments of $254.48. Now let's see how much we have paid since January 1st. That is, in 2 years, how many payments did we make? So we paid for 2 years, 12 payments per year of $254.48. So the total amount that we paid is 2 times 12, so 2 years times 12 payments, times the amount that we paid. And the total amount that we paid off is $6,107.52. Next, we need to figure out the percentage of total payments that go into interest. So the principal is $5,000, we know that, but the total amount we paid is $6,107.52. So the amount that we paid in excess of the principal is the interest. So the amount that we paid minus the amount that we owe is the amount that we paid in interest. So this is the interest. Now we need to find the percent of our total payment, which is interest. So that is the interest over the total payment times 100%. So that would be 18.13% of what we paid, which is 18.13% of the $6,107.52 is the interest. So about 18% of the total amount we returned is interest. The rest is the principal. So here we have a problem related to mortgages. We borrow money to buy a home. So we need a loan of $75,000. Okay, and we have two options. One is a 30-year loan with an annual percentage rate of 8%. And our second option is a 15-year loan with annual percentage rate of 7%. So let's look at the two options and see which one is a better deal. And let's just look at this important fact that the closing costs are the same. So all we have to do is compare the monthly payments and think about which loan gives us what kind of advantage. So option 1 is a 30-year loan. So our loan term is 30. The percentage rate is 0.08. The amount that we borrow is $75,000, and we're going to make monthly payments. So that's 12 payments in a year, n is equal to 12. Plug in all the numbers into our payment formula. This is our monthly payment, which is $550.32. So the total amount that we're going to pay in the form of payments is 12 payments in a year for 30 years at the rate of $550.32 per month. The total amount that we pay back is $198,115.20. So that's the total amount that we pay back for a $75,000 loan. Now, our second option, so we're looking at the second option now. It's a 15-year loan, annual percentage rate of 7%, which is 0.07. The loan term is 15 years. The amount that we borrow, 75,000, number of payments, 12. So we do the calculations, and what we get is a monthly payment of $674.12. So let's calculate the total amount in payments for the second type of loan. So that would be 12 payments in a year for 15 years at the rate of $674.12 per month. So the total amount that we pay back is $121,341.60. So if you compare these two options, so let's look at both. The first option, let's compare the monthly payments. So let's look at the monthly payments now. The monthly payment for the first option is $550.32. The monthly payment for the second option is $674.12. Clearly, this is lower. But there is a price to pay for a lower monthly payment. Look at the total amount that we are going to return at the end of 30 years. It's going to be $198,115.20 as compared to $121,341.60. So there is a cost here, but if we can afford only payments up to $550 a month, then option one would be better. So that is how we analyze the two options. Look at the next problem. In the previous problem, we did discuss two options related to mortgages. And then the closing costs in the previous problems were the same. So we didn't have to worry about comparing closing costs. Now in this problem, there is a slight difference. Now we need to take a loan of $120,000. That's our mortgage. We have two options. And let's look at the first option, which is a 30-year fixed rate, 8.5% with no closing costs and no points, which means the closing cost is zero. No points would mean they're not going to charge a percent of your principal towards closing costs. So the closing cost, $0. Now let's look at the payments that we need to make monthly. So it's a 30-year loan at the rate of 8.5%. Monthly payments, so n equals 12, and the amount we borrow is $120,000. Our monthly payments will come up to $922.70. Now let's look at our second option. So our second option is a 30-year loan at a slightly lower interest rate, which is 7.5%, which is 0.075 monthly payments, and towards a loan of $120,000. We calculate the payments, plug in all the numbers into the formula, use your calculator, and the monthly payment for this option comes up to $839.06. However, now we need to compare the closing costs as well. So the closing cost for the first option was $0. Now for the second option, the closing cost is $1,200 and 4 points. What does that 4 points mean? So the closing cost is $1,200 plus an additional amount of 4% of the amount that you borrow. So that is 4% of $120,000. So that is in addition to the $1,200. So 4% is 0.04 of translates to times $120,000. Use your calculator and you'll see that the closing cost comes up to $6,000. So now we have to think about what a better option is. Here we have a higher monthly payment versus a lower monthly payment, but in this particular problem, we also need to factor in the closing cost. A higher payment, lower closing cost for the first option, a lower payment with a higher closing cost for the second option. Now, let's see how we make our conclusion. So let's just look at the two options. With the first option, we have a higher closing cost. With the second option, we have a lower closing cost. With option 2, if we go with the second choice, then we save $83.64 per month in our monthly payments. So, but then let's look at the closing costs. We have a closing cost of $6,000 for the second option. Now, the amount of money that we save is $83.64 per month. So let's say that we put it towards the closing costs. So the number of months that we need to recover the closing costs would be the closing cost difference divided by monthly payment difference, which is about 72 months, which amounts to 6 years. So 72 divided by 12 equals 6. So that's how we get 6 years. So to recover the closing costs, we would take about 6 years if we went with the second choice. So lower monthly payment comes with a slight cost here of higher closing cost. So if we save $83.64 towards the closing costs, then it would take us 72 months to recover the closing costs that we're going to pay upfront. So if we are planning to live in the house for more than 6 years, then it is worth taking the second option.